First thing I want to say about Wednesday night's game against the Vancouver Whitecaps, the first leg of the final of the 2012 edition of the Voyageurs Cup, is don't let that late goal get you down, TFC fans. If you watched the game Wednesday evening, I'm sure you saw Eric Hasley score an absolute wonder strike on a volley. I think literally a 1 in 100 shot. He did it in injury time. And the game ended, of course, Toronto FC won, the Vancouver Whitecaps won. First leg. How you doing, everybody? Tim here once again, View from the South Stands, coming to you on Thursday, one day after TFC's, dare I say, brave, well-played draw that they got against the Vancouver Whitecaps to give themselves a chance to lift the Voyageurs Cup for the 4th year in a row and proceed for the 4th year in a row into North America's premier cup competition, the CONCACAF Champions League. Yes, they didn't get the win that they probably deserved. I think, yes, Vancouver had a lot of possession, but I think TFC really deserved that win last night. I think perhaps the most encouraging thing, more than anything else, was that TFC went away from Toronto, played a full 90 minutes, and got a result. And I think that speaks to the potential that this team has to be better than it's been, particularly in MLS play. And hopefully we can start to see the fruits of those labor Saturday in Washington, D.C., which I'll come to a little later. Now, many feared that a 4th Voyageurs Cup title, I think, would have been beyond TFC, and it still might be, who knows, but obviously there's still one game to play. It's going to be back here in Toronto, and the advantage is with Toronto FC. Vancouver has to chase the game. They have to score. A 0-0 draw means TFC goes through on away goals. So Vancouver's got to come here, they've got to push, and they have to try and score a goal, and that's going to give, hopefully, Toronto FC some openings that they can take advantage of if they play the same excellent overall sort of game, I think, that they played Wednesday evening. TFC didn't win the possession battle, Vancouver did, but I think TFC had what I like to call meaningful possession. They kept their shape. They actually used a bit of width and a bit of grit in the midfield from players like de Guzman, and not everybody agrees with me on this one, but Terry Dunfield, who I thought had a good game. Donnell Henry and Ashton Morgan played quite well as well, young Canadians, and Ryan Johnson once again scored. So I think obviously the team had some excellent outings there, but more than anything, from a defensive point of view, they kept their shape, and Dunfield and de Guzman in particular were excellent in the midfield. Now, de Guzman set up the winning goal. Johnson scored an excellent header. Not the winning goal, but TFC's away goal. Hopefully the winning goal. We'll know next Wednesday. De Guzman's pass to Johnson in for the header was frankly as nice as the goal was. I'm an Arsenal fan, as some of you loyal viewers might already know. I follow the North London outfit, and earlier this season, even though it might have been overshadowed by a few goals from like Cisse and Crouch and Ben Arfa and some of the other goals that were scored in the Premier League this year, Robin van Persie scored a fabulous goal on a volley. And the pass from Alex Song was as good as the goal was, and he never got any credit. Julian de Guzman's pass was absolute money last night, and it makes me quite happy to actually say that I think he was our man of the match last night. Some people, some pundits out there are saying Ryan Johnson. I think it was Julian de Guzman. Without his stalwart defending, without his guile in possession, and without some of his link-up play, I don't think TFC would have gotten out of there last night with a draw. Now, let's see if he can keep it up, because the big knock, obviously, on de Guzman, and not just for me, I know I've been a noted critic in some quarters, and there's a lot of Julian defenders and Julian haters out there. There doesn't seem to be a lot of in between, but I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt if that's the way that he plays consistently. That's been the knock. It's not a lack of ability, it's not a lack of courage, it's not a lack of skill, it's a lack of consistency. Now, he's got a game on Saturday where he's going to be most likely man-marking his good friend Dwayne De Rosario. He did a good job in keeping D-Row off the off the score sheet when DC was here a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, the Reds still lost the game, but he did a good job of negating DC's most creative offensive threat, and he's going to have that job again most likely on Saturday at RFK. I really like what the revamped coaching staff did as well. The substitutes were positive. Couvremans, Sulzma, and Silva all came on the pitch, all attacking midfield or strikers. I really think a lot of those moves kept Vancouver off balance. Couvremans and Sulzma back really changes the prospects for TFC up top as well. I think in their absence, whether it be Couvremans' ability to hold up the ball, whether it be Sulzma's ability to get wide and whip in some nice crosses, I think the reliance on Johnson and Plata, with all due respect to them, I think especially Plata, has made TFC a little too predictable up front. So hopefully their substitutions and perhaps their inclusion in the game on Saturday and maybe even next Wednesday might give TFC some more offensive threat. I think the Reds played a nice up-tempo style of play, and even though Vancouver had the edge in possession, as I stated earlier, I don't think it was as meaningful a stat as it might have been. I think TFC had, again, quality possession where they actually had corners, they had some wide play, they had some significant periods of time where they kept Vancouver on a defensive footing, which is something that I haven't seen TFC do on the road very often. I don't think any of us have seen that very often. So perhaps the most important things to take out of this game were these few points. I'd argue that not since the Dallas game last fall that clinched the Champions League quarterfinal berth for TFC did the Reds play as good an overall road game for a full 90 minutes as we saw last night in Vancouver. That's the encouraging thing. 0-8 is a reality. 0-8 is there, and the playoffs may already be a foregone conclusion. Some websites are putting it as a 1 in 100 chance for TFC to make the playoffs, but hey, you can't worry about that right now. All you can focus on is your effort, your shape, your possession, and your coming together as a team. And I think we saw some sparks of that last night in Vancouver. And what I'm looking for on Saturday, win, lose, or draw, hopefully a win, hopefully a draw, maybe a loss, who knows, is I want to see more of that sustained effort because last night proved against what's been a relatively good team in Major League Soccer this year. Vancouver has 5 wins, folks. I think the Reds played, again, as good an overall road game as I've seen them play in a long time. Now, getting back to my first point, don't let the late goal get you down. There's no shame in giving up a wonder goal. Some people are slagging off Donnell Henry, the 19-year-old center back, who I think had an excellent game overall last night, for giving Hasley that space out wide. Again, that's a 1 in 100 chance. I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi, again, they might have scored that, but they might not have. I think it's literally one of those 1 in 100 deals. And I think that losing the win, not losing the game, but losing the victory on a goal like that is nothing to actually really get broken up over. Some of the defensive blunders that your Hardens and your Asavals, to name a couple unfortunate victims off the top of my head, have made earlier in this season, some of those defensive blunders have been horrendous, heartbreaking, soul-destroying ways to lose games. Losing that win on the road last night in Vancouver to what was a wonder goal, I don't think is something that they need to worry about. I also like the TFC didn't bunker. 2 weeks ago in Montreal, we saw one of the most abysmal games from a tactical perspective I've seen TFC ever play. It was absolutely horrendous to watch. They got the point, they came back to beat Montreal, they're in the final. Fair enough, but I liked last night that they didn't take any chances with conceding goals early. They decided that the best defense is a good offense, and they decided to stretch the field, and now they're coming home with an edge. Now, Dwayne Rollins, a good friend of mine on Canadian Soccer News, said it perfectly on his on his blog today, the 24th Minute. He said, no, and I'm paraphrasing here, he said, no one on TFC played poorly last night. And I couldn't agree with him more. I can't think of a game this season where that was the case, win, lose, or draw. And that's something to build on, and we'll see how they build upon the foundation they laid performance-wise last night, 2 nights from now in Washington, D.C. on Champions League Day. And of course it's going to be D.C., it's going to be D-Row, it's going to be Micon. D.C. just beat Colorado away, so obviously going to RFK and playing a high-powered offensive team is going to be a challenge, but we've gotten results in that stadium before. We had that crazy 3-3 game last year, so coming off a good effort, let's see what TFC can do to break this horrendous slump in Major League Soccer. Again, I apologize for this one being a day late. Sometimes life gets in the way. Thank you very much for watching, and you folks have a great weekend. Enjoy your long weekend responsibly, and I'll have another video blog up most likely on Sunday after the Champions League day on Saturday, and of course the DC United TFC game Saturday night. Thanks for watching.